Alright, so I'm back out here, dude. We got the old box off. It's still spurting out carbon. So that's how you know we getting that hesitation on acceleration because of EVAP. This thing here, the other hose done broke completely off. So I might need to buy a section of hose since it's missing. Clean this one back up. Here we go. A box that looks just like it, fit just like it. I know, made in China, so can't hear no charcoal playing around in there. Got this Wi-Fi from online, so yeah, while everything is out. Alright, so boom, here's the difference. It's got a makeshift seal here / O-ring. That's all one piece. It's part of the whole face here. But this one doesn't. It just has that. So I don't know. This is flat. Whatever. I do what I can, okay? I do what I can. Whatever. So according to the forums, you gotta go by your designated production year model. This one has like a makeshift washer, and that's gonna made up to this part with the flat face. And as you'll see, the next one is different. It has a larger bore that's gonna made up to one that goes inside of the hole. Okay, so finish attaching a new one here. Of course, I'm gonna have a hose missing, but you know, you can always get one from somewhere. Just attach it after the fact. Yeah. Let me try to see if I can find that one that's missing. Alright, so the idea here is to push this on as far as I could. Yeah, that. It's like 30 bucks. Take the purge, that green purge valve with this out together, and then work on, you know, backing this thing out, because this is going to be a problem if that plastic cracks off in there. And this is what, fuel line? Alright, so this bracket here, I took the bolt that sandwiched this purge valve to that bracket. Then you just pop it out. Of course, you gotta squeeze the white plastic through there from both sides and push it through. So now you can manipulate this and then get your connector off safely first, and then work with this off the car. Okay, so I had to bend this bracket down. Don't be scared of it. You can always bend it back. I had to press this clip fully until it clicked, the connector, and then use a flathead and try to leverage off itself and try to like push that connector up. And with this, I just pulled the whole assembly out, face it down, make sure I move the clip up, and just use its own gravity to like twist it, break its little beaded seal, and work it back and forth while pulling, and it came out. Yep, it's time to go, buddy. Congrats, the new one is on. Time to go back in. Yeah, boy, macaroni. And then of course go to the front of the car, open the hood, and get all the charcoal out the front. Macaroni. So apparently you'll see some discontinued parts, and the parts that was supposed to replace them, and it'll look like it goes for 3.5 max, even though you got 3.0. It looks like it goes for the Ultimas, even though you got a Maxima. And you might be worried that it might not fit. Now these ends here are different, and it has this little barrier right here. That on the OE part is supposed to be flush up here, so you'll be able to put the hose more towards this. So I admit, maybe these sides are longer, but hey, if you get it to work, it's meant. If the clips hold it, it's meant. Thinking about shaving it down cutting off excess. I mean, okay, I get it, but this barrier right here is going to give you an issue with pushing this over. So to be honest with you, just trying to get it on the best way I can. Remember, to make this whole thing easier, there's a bolt, a 10 that goes right up there, and this, it kind of scoops in. And I did take this out before, but this can hold that whole contraption up where you don't have to unbolt your purge. You can do, take this line off, and you don't have to fight with unclipping this, and you can swing it out the way and get your box in first. And then push your hoses on. And then push this back up. And then worry about that last. Amen. Alright, so I got this one in, dude. I mean, it's not far off from where the other one mounts up. You might have to push it over a little bit. Pull, you know, I didn't even put the bolts in it to hold this box up. I just connected one hose and set the dowels in and let it hold up while I get the bolts started. So now I can successfully do my hoses first, right? Put this bracket back on there, do this side first, then do back this side. I might as well just bolt this back down, but you know what? It helps having it loose. After that, I'll find a piece of plastic, cut some holes in it, and try to wrap it around so this stuff stays dry. Because this is one of the reasons why you have EVAP codes, is when a whole bunch of corrosion get up in here and dust and debris and everything else. Okay, so I figured something else about this EVAP bracket, right? If these are longer and it's starting to sit out and won't let me bolt it to right there like it should, then I can just leave all of this free, zip tie it, and be done with it. Capiche? Capiche. Zip tie it. I did what I could just to make sure it has some type of blockage here for the most part. Not too bad. I can do it over if I wanted to, but do I feel like it? Okay, so here's an update. I was messing with the outlet control valve to clean it, to clean my butterfly valve there. I know that that's a coolant line Nissan uses to cool the charged air after the mass airflow sensor. You see these two lines up here, the skinny one and this big one right here? This big line that goes all the way down, and it goes to a metal hard line that is your vacuum line that's gonna go to the back of the car for EVAP. And wanna know how I know? Cause when I took it out, I got charcoal filled to the hilt. Desperate times, desperate measures. Put this on, connect all that, leave that off. Let's see if I can start it. Yeah, so don't be like me. When they said in the forums to take this bracket off, 2 bolts, right, that hold the EVAP, it's a holder for all of these too. You can take it off, use your what do you call this thing, pliers, to work these hoses off and take the whole thing off and get rid of, oh yeah, unplug those, and then get rid of you know, stuff in the vacuum line. Okay, to not get that small line for this bracket here that goes to the other side, that vacuum hose confused with the small one that goes on your intake resonator, you can see clearly that this one is shorter and its natural position of where it wants to, it's on the end, and its natural position of where it wants to go is straight up. This one is on the middle, this one here is on the middle, and it's longer. Its natural position of where it wants to go is across. Now you get to take the EVAP off. Yep. Yeah, son bitch. Still some more in there, coming out in little dust pellets. Oh, there it goes. I tell you, once you get it off these lines, it is nothing but just pure charcoal. Finally got that little piece out of the hose, and I'll crazy glue that back. But I'm telling you, it's just endless in here. Okay, so basically this big line here is the EVAP. It goes in, comes around, goes to this canister here, and then goes around to the solenoid, which I guess lets it purge out and goes down into your intake manifold. See, there's a port there for it. Goes into your intake manifold to be burnt. So what happens is all this carbon particles get in this line and starts to get collected in this, stops this up, gives you a check engine light, gets here, blocks this up, and then when you take off these parts, this whole circuit, and dump it out, it's a lot of charcoal, fills this whole thing up. So I tried my best to try and vacuum what I could from that hose, that EVAP hose that is coming from the rear of the vehicle. And you can tell that the way that the EVAP flows is the charcoal makes its way from the rear and comes through this hose and comes to the front, stops up everything, and gives you a check engine light. It was not coming out. And I'm like, okay, so I tried making my own suction and it was just sealed. So that's the reason I started the vehicle with that hose disconnected, and it seemed to, I guess, blast everything into the air. So I will be checking days from now to see if there's any charcoal left. So what I was experiencing was a loss of horsepower, a loss of throttle response, and this clunk, 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 misfire feel vibration, even in idle. But not only that, this check engine light code is considered the lottery. The code that can lead to many possibilities. Where you could possibly have a vacuum leak, you possibly have a bad vent solenoid in the back, you probably have corroded wires that broke off of that connector back there under the rear bumper. It's so many possibilities where you have to troubleshoot and diagnose everything. But this is what I'm doing, right? I'm just checking the idle air control valve, cleaning it off. I'm checking to see if there's a lump of carbon there in the EGR port where you could stick your finger in right back there, and then you see that pipe, right? That's the EGR tube. If there is a lump of carbon, you're gonna throw a check engine light for EGR. So I'm just cleaning what I can, spraying some throttle cleaner in there, using what I can to dig in there and see if there's any blockage. But you know, just it's blow by all up in there, so it's due for a cleaning. I just gotta get a manifold gasket first before taking it off. This is how she's living. There goes my skyline over there. Oh yeah. Ooh, you gotta learn how to respect it. Maybe I should have got an iPhone. Make a video presentation. Samsung's not too bad. As you can see, the right-hand drive is real. Say it with me, folks. Right-hand drive is real. Ooh, look at the size of that exhaust. Yeah. Definitely. Oh man. That's a lot of work. Do not trip over the Gallardo. Do not trip over Gallardo. Oh, yeah. Do not trip over Gallardo.
Photo Bob. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Photo Bob.
Look at this side. Somebody come look at this side. Look at this side. Now tell me what the difference is besides stretching early in the morning and this side. Is this brother doing some kind of two-tone Oreos in the morning? Some kind of cinnamon toast crunch mixed with the honeycombs in the morning kind of wheel setup? Stretch, I'm shocked at you.